Record to this computer, recording in progress. So just so y'all know, yes, this is being recorded. This is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor at Sampson Properties, saying hello, 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 and welcome. Do not let the blue skies out there fool you. It is still below freezing. Let me just look real quick and see. Oh, 26 degrees, in case y'all needed to know that. Um, yeah, we haven't had weather like this in probably 10 years or so. So anyway, it is crazy. So in today's session of business skill builders, we are going to talk about the benefit that comes from Jumpstart 3 and Jumpstart session 4. As we go through it, I'm also going to give you the why that's important. So you're probably going to get sick of me saying, and why is that important? Because that is what I'm going to reference as well. So hopefully all of you have had the opportunity to take Jumpstart sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4. If by chance you have not, those are the first 4 sessions in our learning trails. Now we are excited and proud to announce, especially for our new agents that are here with us today, that the learning trails is officially up and running. Donnie has said multiple times, if he could make Jumpstart mandatory for all agents that come to Sampson, regardless of how long they've been in business, he would do it in a heartbeat. So that tells you right there his belief in the platform and the program as well. So last week we talked about Jumpstart 1 and 2. It's about putting the foundational pieces down so your business will grow. It's if you don't have these foundational pieces down, you're like on a treadmill, 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, because when we say, okay, now's the time to do this, you can't do it because you didn't do the tasks that were in Jumpstart 1. So that's why we are such, encouraging you to go through it. Get those tasks familiar to you and know how to operate them, so that when we say, okay, now go make sure your bio, which we cover in Jumpstart 1, is on your website. And you go, I don't have a bio, I don't have my website, I don't know how to do QR code. I tell you to go back to square one. Again, we cannot put a roof on the house without the foundation and the walls. So there you have it. All right, so let's take a close look at what Jumpstart Session 3 is all about. Jumpstart Session 3 is all about your database. Now, before I have a heart attack, either in reaction or in the chat, my dog just snored, put a reaction out. Have you sorted and organized your database based off the foundation that we give you in Jumpstart Session 3? Give me a thumbs up. And you can do it from React. I see some thumbs popping. Denise, I knew you had. And yes, I see some others that are responding as well. So that's good. Gang, I gotta tell you, I am bewildered, bewildered, beyond stunned that every coach and every trainer and every business coach and trainer for the last 30 years that I know of talk about the importance of your database, but yet agents blow it off. I just boggles. People are more likely to do business with you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. It is way easier to build and nourish first time or repeat business out of people that already know you. It is way cheaper to do that than to buy leads. And again, you're not buying leads, you're buying some inquiry. And as you all know, the foundation of my teaching is you've given me permission to be blunt and honest with you and tell you what you need to know and not always what you want to hear. And that absolutely applies to this class big time. So, with that, with the exception of Joe, the rest of us, I think, are snowed in. So, gang, this is the ideal time to go through and sort and organize your database. I don't care if you've got 5. I don't care if you got 55. I don't care if you've got 555. If you got more than that, you got a mailing list. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is to, if you're watching this on replay, um, take a moment, go to your calendar and say, I need to block off a couple of time slots to get this done. So go block off. And if your attention span is 30 minutes, I'm okay with that. Block off a couple of 30-minute sessions with yourself on your calendar to do this task. If you could think you can go 45 minutes, awesome. If you can go an hour, awesome. If you think, well, I can do it in 2 hours because I have a big database, okay, that's fine. But break it down into smaller chunks. Because for agents to say, well, I am going to do this all in one day and you've got 1,000 in there, I'm sorry, it ain't going to get done. So take a look at who you know and don't over analyze them and don't prejudge them. Do not think, oh, well, they have their dream home, they're never going to sell. No, 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 no. Because if an emergency or a change in their life happens, they're going to sell in a heartbeat. So don't prejudge, because here's the other rule that goes with that one. Birds of a feather flock together. And if you like this person, more than likely their friends are going to be similar to them. And when you nurture that one, that is where you have just upped the odds of them referring someone to you, provided you have done a good job at helping them understand how that can happen. So let's talk about the tools, the system. I don't care if you use Bull Trails, formerly known as KV Core. I don't care if you use Lofty, Top Producer, all clients. I don't care if you have everybody in an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care if you have them on 3x5 file cards. I don't care if you have them on Post-it notes. I don't care if everyone that you know is in the contacts of your email account. Now, again, that could be Gmail, that could be Outlook. I don't care, because this breaking them down and flagging them and assigning them a flag can be done in any and all of those platforms. Think back. Oh, I don't know. God, this is down my age. Think back 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, before my time, years ago. People didn't have computers to run their business. How did they keep track of everything? If you've ever gone to a dentist or a doctor's office back then, it wasn't all on computer. There were file folders. It was still done. They had color sorting and color tags that they put on them. Okay, we're doing the same thing. We're just taking advantage of the technology that we currently have available in which to organize our life. So let's say you're going to have everybody in your contacts, whatever platform you're using. You break it down. Again, even if they're on the phone, get them into, again, I don't care if it's your Gmail contacts, Outlook, doesn't matter, get them into something. Then Here's what you do. If you got this humongous roster and you can't even begin to, your eyes are spinning, you take one letter of the alphabet every day. Today, you're going to work on anybody whose last name begins with an A. Blinders on, that's what you're going to focus on. Tomorrow, you'll do the B's. Next day, you do the C's. Next day, you write anybody whose last name begins with D, and you just go through the alphabet that way. You can even go as far, which what I would encourage, if you're going to do it that way, put the letter of the alphabet on your calendar. I don't care if you're using a digital calendar or a paper calendar. Break it down and know that every day you're going to take and do one letter of the alphabet. Now, if you find you've got extra time on your hands and want to think, okay, this is going smoother and was easier than I thought, let's rock. Let's just keep going. You can do that. This is kind of I'm going to say mindless process. You can be halfway listening or watching a movie and still go through and get this done. So again, make yourself comfortable. Shoes are optional. Beverage of choice at hand. Puppy under the table sleeping. But just block off some time to get it done. If not, it ain't going to get done. So you've got them now to that point. What do you do next? You take a look at each person and say, okay, are they an A, a B, a C, or a D? That's what you're going to take a look at. We cover that in full depth in Jumpstart Session 3. I'm giving you the highlights. A's are those that have been past clients or someone who has referred you to someone. Because as we said, you don't prejudge. You may know that Joe has his dream house and he is not selling that ever. But Joe may like me and trust me, but Joe may refer me to someone. He becomes an A. That easy. Then you look at the name. If they don't fall into that category, they're a B, possibly. A B is someone, I know them, they know me. If I call, they're going to know who I am. If they call, I'm going to know who they are. I'm taking good care of them. And I make sure that they get my monthly newsletter. So I'm reminding them that I'm still in business. And from there, I am pretty sure that when the time comes that their home no longer meets their needs, I'm going to be their go-to source. They're a B. Next is a C. A C is, yeah, we're casual friends, acquaintances, whatever. I know them, they know me. I've not really taken regular contact with them. I think they'd remember me. I'm not sure. Those are C's. When you look at a name, if you go, I have no clue who this person is. I have no idea where I met them. I don't know if I met them at the open house. I don't know if I met them at the bar. I don't know if I had where I met them. They're a D because you don't remember. Now, moving forward, every time you add a new contact or person into your database, shall we say, you will label them immediately. Are they an A, a B, a C, or a D? You keep that momentum going and it becomes a healthy database. All right. When we talk about doing pop buys, most agents don't do it because, or I'm going to say meet for coffee. Okay. Most agents don't do it because they don't know who to turn to. They don't know who their A's are. You should be able, if I came to you and said, okay, how many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's are in your database, you should be able to tell me just like that. If not, here's your first assignment, is to get that cleaned up so that we know. So when we say, okay, we're going to do an annual home equity review, you will start with your A's. You know exactly, pinpoint, bullseye, who to go to. Then let's say we get through that and I say, all right, now you're going to start tackling your B's. You know exactly how many there are. You know exactly what needs to be done. And there you go. Then your C's, you're going to kind of reconnect with them a little bit. And how you will reconnect with them is, shameless plug, in the learning trails. I think it is step 5 in your learning trails. It is the best one-liners. That class will help you with how do I connect? How do I reconnect? What do I say? Again, it's not conversations, it's not scripts. It is just a quick, bam, one-liner to start a conversation. And that's all embedded into that session for you as well. That's why it's number 5 on the Learning Trail roster. It's either 5 or 6, but it's right up there, right after Jumpstart. So you now know what to say. You now know how to reach out to your C's and go, hey, I've got a new newsletter and I would love to send it over to you. I'd love to get your feedback on it. Let me ask you a question. Do you want it mailed to you or do you want it emailed to you? And when they tell you, say, okay, let me double check. Do I have your correct email address? I have 12345678910 at gmail.com. Is that the one you're still using? Or you look at it and go, oh, I just realized I don't have your email address. Which email account do you want me to send it to? Because most people these days have more than one email account. So that's how you word it to them. When you have your D's and you're going, I have no clue where I met them. I probably met them in the open house 4 years ago. I don't know because I haven't done an open house in that long. Here's, again, best one-liners is going to give you the talking points to reconnect with them. A great one to use on them, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I got this one recently. In fact, I'm not even sure if it's in best one-liners yet. This came from Bob and Rana. If you're with Samson, you know who the Bob and Rana team are. They are mega producers with a footprint and a hold in Maryland. Bob shared this one with me and gave me permission to pass it on. When they have someone who's either ghosted them, haven't responded, or they haven't connected with a while, they will call them and they will say, hey, this is, you introduce yourself. And then you would say something along the lines of, I am working on and are purging my mailing roster, my whatever you want to call it, however you want to refer it to. I am purging my roster. I know it's been a while since you have responded back. So my question is, do you want me to purge you off my follow-up roster? That's how he puts it. He said, most people don't want to be purged. It just sounds horrible. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just got busy, or, I changed emails or whatever. You'll get whatever their reason is. He said, rarely will they say, yeah, just go ahead and purge me off or remove me off. He said, that is seldom. But what it does is it regenerates. You now know whether they're on board or not. I'm going to share a quick example with you. And again, giving credit where credit is due. This one came from Jim Rohn. And if you don't know who Jim Rohn is, go look him up. His stuff is still out there. It is classics withstanding the test of time. Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, and Zig Ziglar were the early day Tony Robbins and moving out great speakers. Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar, of course, are passed on now, but their voice and their message still withstands the test of time. Jim was talking, I had the honor and privilege to go to a 2-day seminar with about, there was probably 30 or 50 of us was all that had qualified to go to this event. I knew it was cool. I didn't know how cool it was until years later when I really got to understand who Jim Rohn was. It was like, holy smokes. One of the things he taught was regarding your database. It is like your closet, your kitchen. If you're going to cook a meal and you want the best, you are not going to go to the trash can and dig and see what's in the trash can. You're not going to go to your closet, your pantry that's full of expired food. You're going to pull or replace or purge out and toss and get rid of the stuff that's dead weight. Same thing with your clothes closet. I'm going to guess we still don't have stuff in our closet that we wore in high school. I guess I should look to see who all is here and see how old they are. But the point being is we purge our closet every once in a while. We purge our pantries every once in a while. We clean out the freezer or refrigerator. If it's old, stale, or growing fuzzy stuff on it, it goes in the trash. We don't scrape that fuzzy stuff off and have it for dinner. It's the same concept for your database. It needs to be healthy. It needs to be rejuvenated every once in a while. And it is okay to purge and get rid of the dead weight in there. So, but I loved it when Jim was sharing this. He said he always knew he was in trouble when his wife started purging and cleaning out her closet. Stuff she didn't wear anymore, stuff that was outdated, way outdated, stuff that she, just was stretched out, worn, stained, whatever, whatever, whatever. He says, I knew when she started that process, I was in trouble. He says, I just called my credit card company and upped my limit because I knew that the minute she got done with that process, she says, oh, look, honey, I got space to add some new stuff in my closet. I'm going to go shopping. And it was their joke between the two of them. And he says, I loved it because he says she was thrifty and she always bought quality stuff that lasted for a long time. But the point was, you got to clean it out to see what you got. And it's okay because the minute you get rid of the dead weight and purge, you now know what you have. And you can build from there. Gang, your database is the most valuable part of your business. I'm going to say that again in case you fell asleep. Your database is one of the most valuable parts of your business. It is a money-making machine when you handle it, nurture it, and do it correctly. So this is why we make such a big deal over reminding, get your database nice, neat, and tidy. You should be able to tell me in a heartbeat how many A, B, C's, and D's you've got in your database. In fact, I'm going to challenge you all. When you are done cleaning up your database, send me an email. Tell me how many A's, B's, C's, D's. Oh, wait, there's other categories. How many service providers, how many transaction partners, and how many other agents do you have in your database? I want to know. So when you are done, send me that email. Now, I always have to giggle when agents say, well, I want to work by repeat and referral business only. Okay. I did it for years, but I built up to that point where the pump had been primed and all I had to do was gently keep that pump being primed with a monthly newsletter and swear to God, my phone would start ringing because they remembered. Now their need was there. Something's changed. Even if they were thinking a couple of months out, they knew I could get them on the right track. But God forbid, here's the downside. If you are going, which you should, be sending out a monthly newsletter, I don't care if you send it by mail. I don't care if you send it by email. I don't care if you send it by courier pigeon. you want to make sure that they're getting it. Now, I know that Donnie and HQDUs will often say, and Sarah as well, it is too easy with an email for them to hit delete and swipe it out. Here is how you overcome that. If you are going to email out your newsletter, this is where these pieces of the puzzle start connecting in with one another. You will go ahead and text or voicemail message your A or your B contacts, not all of them, but just some of them every month, and say, hey, I just emailed you over my newsletter. There was an article in there. I thought of you, wanted to make sure that you took a look at it. It only takes about 5 minutes to go through, buzz through, read through the email, the newsletter. I do that intentionally because I know your time is valuable. They're not going to swipe and delete. And if they do, they're going to come back into their delete file and pull it back in and read it over. This ties into that monthly touch point. That ties into the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 contacts, 4 text messages, 3 emails. There you go. That's where it all connects in and ties into one another. Just say, hey, there was an article about this, thought of you, wanted to make sure you had a chance. I'd love to get your feedback on it or your 2 cents on it. You're now engaging conversation. You're just not sending stuff out automatically. So that is how you overcome that concern that they're just going to swipe and delete, because you're going to remind them something's coming that you want to bring their attention to. There you go. All right. So, but those agents that say, well, I just want to work by repeat and referral business, that's great. But then I will ask them how many A's, B's, and C's you have. Oh, I don't know. Well, how many's your database? Oh, I don't know. I'm like, really? Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat, because I can't give you any direction because we don't even know what we're working with. This is why. Another reason why having a healthy database is important is because someday you may actually want to retire. I know, hard to believe. And if you do, your database is still a healthy, vibrant machine. And like any business, you can have another agent take over your database with a referral agreement in place. Then any business that comes from it from the next X number of years, you get a 20, 25, whatever referral fee out of that transaction. And then, of course, there's ways to do, you co-brand together for a little while, and then you phase out and let them run with it. All right. But so often it's just dumped. There's no follow-up. There's no nothing. Now, I will tell you a fun little story, because you know I like to share that with you. There was an agent that brand new, didn't know a lot of people in the area. And this was, okay, this goes back a few years when we had file cabinets at the offices full of the files of every transaction. Now it's all digital. But the agent came in with a notepad, legal yellow paper pad, and got permission from the broker to go through the files from 3, 4, 5 years ago, and specifically was looking for a transaction that an agent did that is no longer in business. And that is, he write down the basic information, and then he'd reach out to them and just introduce himself and say, we're just doing a follow-up. Is the house still working for you? I know the agent who originally serviced you has since retired. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't an orphan or abandoned. He built the most amazing foundation from being able to do that. Now, a little more challenging because all of our files are digital now, but I bet we could figure out a way how to still make that happen. Okay. Go back and search the MLS from years ago. Again, you got to know who the agents are in your area a little bit, or you could double check, see if they're even still licensed. You can even just pick a farm area and do it, because more than likely there's a few abandoned and orphaned homeowners that do not have contact with their agents anymore. There you go. All right. So those are some of the reasons from Jumpstart Session 3 that is critical in having your numbers and knowing what your numbers are for your database. I'm going to encourage you to listen to Jumpstart Session 3. Again, we go through some of the bullet points I've already covered. Plus, we go into how to build out your transaction partners, your service providers, and how to get service providers. And then eventually you'll learn how to turn those service providers into reciprocal referral business partners with you and for you, and you to them, them to you. We're going to then show you how to take other agents and Samson agents and how to leverage that. That's all covered in a deeper level in Jumpstart Session 3. So that is why your database is absolutely a critical part of your business. It is the difference between a slot machine and a vending machine. A slot machine, you put the money in, you go, come on, 7, and you hope for the best. And more than likely, odds are against you, you're going to lose. On the flip side is if you've got a vending machine, you've got your A, B, C, D service providers, transaction partners, other agents, and other Samson agents. You put your money in for marketing and you go, hey, I want to tap into my A clients. So you push A on the machine and out they pop. Vending machine. You know exactly what your target is before you put a penny into marketing to that group in that category. All right. There you have it. There you have it. So go enjoy Session 3. Let's take a moment and talk about Session 4 in Jumpstart and what it covers and why it is a valuable and priceless piece of the puzzle. So Jumpstart Session 4 is all about the marketing department of your business. Now, I'm going to ask you, can you tell me how many possible options for marketing there is in the real estate world? If you're able to tell me 24, you are correct. But can you list them all off? Probably not, because I'd have to look at my cheat sheet to list them all off as well. In real estate, you have 24 options for specified, specific marketing options. Most agents think, well, I'm just in sales. No, you're not. You're in marketing. You need to sell your value and your message to a large pool of people. So when the time comes that their home no longer meets their needs, you are top of mind. And that's why it's important to have your, your database in place as well. So with that, you want to always be thinking, what else? What are the other options are there out there? When we go through Jumpstart 4, we give you all 24 options. We ask you to think about your options as like the 4 tires on your car. 4 tires on the car, 4 legs on the chair that you're on. Why is 4 the common denominator? Because it's for balance and stability. The same thing with marketing. McDonald's still markets. They don't just have a hamburger. They have variable options. But when you go there, you know exactly what you're going to get. You're not going to get steak and a baked potato. You're not going to get, filet mignon. You are not going to get, lobster. You know exactly what you're going to get when you go there. So this is marketing 101. So this is what we map out for you in Jumpstart session 4. What are the 24 marketing options? You get to decide, because you have to decide which one just feeds your soul and excites you, that you can literally build a system around. Now, I was just listening before we got on this call. I'm going to give him a shout out. Dan Martell. I found him by chance, popped up on a YouTube feed, and he was talking about systems and why systems are 1,000 times better than just goals. Because without the system will kick in. I'm gonna read this directly because I don't want to mess it up. Systems kick in when willpower and motivation go away. I went, you got that right. Talked about goals, talked about the value of vision boards, because again, that's how our brains connect. So in tying it back in to Jumpstart session 4, there's 24 possibilities for your marketing. You're not going to do them all. You've got to find the one, because your database is always one. What is the second one that excites you? What is the third one that excites you? What is the fourth one that excites you? You now have 4 tires on your car that will allow you to go as fast as you want to go. Now, if you are, and again, it's okay, if you are a part-time agent and you go, I can barely maintain a database and one other pillar, I'm okay with that, because you can still get to where you need to go on a bicycle with 2 tires on it. If you say, okay, I got family, I've got, other life crises going on that I'm dealing with, I 4 is too many, but I think I can, implement 3. I'm good with that. I'd rather have you go deeper into a option than kicking them all to the curb. And it is never, never, ever, ever a one and done. Whether it be home buyer workshops, whether it be geo farming, whether it be open houses, I don't care what it is. It is never a one and done. And this is what we often take a deep dive into in our Thursday afternoon, 2:30 marketing mastery class. I take a different topic every week, and we take a deep, deep, deep dive into it. I'm going to tell you how many open houses you need to do in order to generate 1 transaction. And if you're not able to do that or willing to do that, that's okay. But at least you know. Geo farming. We're going to talk about the numbers. We're going to talk about the turnover. We're going to talk about, how much it's going to cost to do it for 12 to 18 to 24 months. And if that is not within your budget, then that's not an option for you. So on those Thursday marketing mastery classes, I hold nothing back. I'm going to spill the dirt and spill the beans. But we're going to map it out and mark it and plan it out so that you know exactly the good and the bad and the ugly for each of those pillars. It is Jumpstart session 4 that we introduce you to the pillars. You start making a decision, and then it's from there that we help guide you through and building out each one to its maximum level of capacity and bringing it all to fruition. Okay. So that is what's covered in Jumpstart session 4. I'm going to pause here for a second, and I am going to go over to my board here and see if there's any questions I need to answer for you. Yeah, the hardest part is don't overthink it. When we're talking about your database, absolutely. You have 2 seconds to make a decision. It's like, it's like when you're cleaning out the refrigerator. You pull something out, you got 2 seconds to make a decision. Are we having it for dinner, or is it needing to go in the trash? Or can it still hold another day and I can put it back in? Those are your 3 options. Same thing applies to your database as well. All right. And Emma says, I answered your question. Good. All right. So with that, we're going to wind down this session. Those are the benefits that will come from taking Jumpstart session 3, getting your database in order. Jumpstart session 4 is I taking a look at what the options are for your marketing department. Everybody's can be absolutely different because you've got to find what hits your hot button and what you can get excited over so that you can build the system that goes with it. But here's the tip. You don't have to build the system. You just got to be willing to take the classes that will give you the system and the logic and the mindset of um, getting it all out there. Okay. All right. So next week's class in this time slot is on file retention. How long do you need to keep your files and how to set up files so your inbox is not this, God knows what. But that comes into next week's session. So with that, my friends, go be awesome. Go be wonderful. Remember, I don't care what you know. I don't care how long you've been around. I want to know what you're doing with what you know. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder at this point. If you all have any questions, you are welcome to chime in and ask. So we're going to put this on.